Well, good morning. Hi, Karen. I see Miss Karen Littlejohn is on. Melanie, good morning. How is everybody?
Good.
Good. Hopefully we'll have a few more hop on there. We see the beautiful Katie and Miss Lisa. Okay. We've got a cute little puppy dog. I don't know who this puppy dog belongs to, but oh, it's Melissa. Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning.
Who's that cute little creature?
It's actually just one that I pulled from online, but he looks a lot like my little Havanese pup.
Oh my gosh, he's so cute. Katie,
Actually, I'm in the office. It's just the lighting is really bad.
Katie and Lisa both have new puppies in their families.
Oh,
Lisa's
new puppies.
Lisa's a little bit more newer, but Katie, are you all the way through kind of like the really rough puppy stage, or are you still with Megs dealing with that? Oh, you're muted. We see your lips moving.
Yeah, she's pretty good. She still wants to eat everything in sight, but other than that, she's a good pup.
Doing okay. How about you, Lisa?
Oh, she's just bonkers. I mean, in every way, shape, and form.
Oh.
But she's super sweet. When she's calm, like she's super sweet. So we love her a lot.
Oh. I mean,
What kind of puppy did you get, Lisa?
A black lab. We got her at 6 weeks. So she's,
wow.
Yeah. I forgot how much work puppies are. Oof,
yeah, and how quickly you become attached.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, we're 11:02, so we're going to go ahead and just kind of get things rolling here. Maybe we'll have a few more peeps pop on as we go along. So
I'm getting it up here.
There we go. All right, you guys have likely heard us talking about Mega Camp. It's coming. It's an absolutely amazing, incredible deal this year for folks who normally, don't either have the money set aside or, just don't look forward to spending money on a plane ticket and a hotel. And that ticket price is normally $800 to go to Mega Camp, you guys, just for the ticket. So the fact that we are able to bring Mega Camp to everyone this year virtually for $109 is pretty amazing. They are anticipating over 50,000 participants this year in Mega Camp. So I gotta believe, and the conversation that I'm having with co-op agents right now is, if there are 50,000 real estate agents across the world are registering and taking time to attend this 2-day event, likely there's going to be some good nuggets that you're going to be able to take away. So I'm going to highly encourage, all of our agents to partake in this. I think that, you'll regret not doing so. The wonderful thing about it is you could be sitting at home on the couch, participating in Mega Camp. You could be in the office. You could be on the beach. I mean, you could be wherever you want to be because it's going to be virtual this year. So, again, tickets are $109 if you would like to participate. Any questions on that at all from anybody?
Yeah, I have one, Erin. Do you happen to know what time of day they're going to be starting the seminars?
They haven't posted the times yet. What I could share with you is typically when we're in Austin, we start like at 8:30 in the morning and it runs until about 5. So I don't know that that's the same schedule they're going to run, but I would imagine it's going to be similar to that. And again, the nice thing about it being virtual is you can pop in, you can pop out, right? So I guess technically you can do that when it's live and in person too, and people do. So even if you don't think that you can, put in the full, I guess it's 3 days, 15th, 16th, and 17th, like a full day, all 3 days, even if you participate in half of the time, I think it's going to be well worth the $109. So anyone else with any questions? Hi, good morning, Megan. Good morning, Jennifer. How are you ladies doing? It's all girl power today on the team leader call. I love it. Those fellas are going to have to step up their game. Keep up with us. All right, what do we got here next, Miss Lisa? Bucket fills. Take a few minutes, maybe jot it down. Love to hear if you want to share it out loud, any bucket fills that you have right now or good news that you want to share that's happening. We could all use some good news, right? With 2020, this crazy 2020 year that we're all having, we could all use some good news. So bucket fills, any sort of thank yous that you want to send out, whether it's, you know, people within the office, people outside of the office, family, whatever.
I will do a bucket fill to start out with this
Okay.
morning. So I was on vacation last week, for those of you that didn't know, and I just wanted to fill Katie's bucket, fill Erin's bucket, Cody and Christina's bucket for just taking care of the little things while I was gone. I think that you guys are amazing and we make a great team. And I just wanted to say thank you for, you know, letting me completely unplug and relax. So I appreciate it.
Aw, yes, we appreciate you. We'd like you to take that time to unplug and relax, but ma'am, we're so excited to welcome you back when you're back. But thank you for that.
Never leave again. Joking.
All right, anybody else want to share any bucket fills or any fun news stories? Jen Walsh, you have a bucket fill and it's out in the open now. So
Big. I'm gonna
really
be a grandma.
Woo! Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. That's so exciting. When is baby due?
March.
In March. And
So
he or she is not going to be spoiled at all.
no,
Not at all.
none.
Yeah.
Well, they do live in Hawaii, so I've been looking into getting my license out there.
I was going to say someone's going to build up their frequent flyer miles, I'm sure. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
We're giving her a hard time because we think she's gonna have twins.
Really? Oh,
So we'll see.
you'll
We're
do.
waiting for
There
her
you
first
go.
appointment, so.
Do they run in the family on either
Yes.
side? Oh
Yes.
my goodness.
My grandmother was a twin.
Oh, wow. They say it skips a generation, right?
And
Sometimes-
my mom miscarried multiples. So
Oh my goodness. So the chances are there. Well, congratulations, Glamma.
yeah. So excited.
Very exciting.
I'm just totally jealous.
Oh, your day will come, Megan. Your day
Ugh.
will come soon enough. All right. Any other bucket fills that we want to share, guys? Any thank yous? Awesome news. I love to start our meetings this way.
Hello, it's Lanier. Tell me about a bucket fill. Tell me about a bucket fill. I want to know more.
Okay, awesome. So everyone, welcome Lanier. He is going to be part of the presentation today. He is an agent who has joined us in Albert Lee. And so Lanier, we like to start our team meetings off, you know, with gratitude. And so a bucket fill is either acknowledging someone or thanking someone for something. And it doesn't necessarily have to be someone in the office. It could be just someone in your life in general. And or just sharing kind of a fun piece of news. So what you might have missed when you were first logging on is Jennifer announced that she is going to be a first-time grandma.
Well, congratulations. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, sorry, go ahead.
I'm close to Albert Lee, so I'll be coming over to see you.
Yay!
Great. That's
That's
great.
awesome. That's
I already
awesome.
have my first stalker. I like it.
So Lanier, she's out of the Austin market, and
Okay.
Jennifer, he's working on doing some reno on some properties in Austin as we speak for students so that they have places to move into.
Cool.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Well, the bucket fill seems very similar to what we do with our traction meetings at our company is we do a personal and business best. But so this is more of a gratitude thing. So I would like to say thank you to Erin for taking my my request to speak and then immediately getting a meeting set up with Zach and myself and Erin. So if she hadn't done that, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Well, we're super excited to have you on board, and we're going to share a little bit more about what you do, Lanier, and how folks can get in touch with you if they need to
Yeah.
when we get to the announcement part. But thank you for logging on today and being a part of the meeting. Hi, Miss Carrie. I see Carrie's logged on. Trudy. I think I've gotten and said hello and good morning to everybody. Thanks for joining us. Any more bucket fills that anybody wants to get out there before we move on? Okay. Well, here we go. Perfect segue. Welcome Lanier Pratt to Keller Williams Premier. So Lanier, maybe I'll let you talk about CPM and what you do there in Albert Lea.
Certainly. Well, CPM was started as kind of a little side project with a friend, business partner of mine. I've been in real estate, owning my own rental since about 1998. I took my first real estate course in 1989 when I was 18, and didn't pass as a typical 18-year-old. I didn't pass my first time around, so I said, if I can't do it the first time, I'm not going back. So I decided to take a different route and just started to buy my own properties. But long story short, my business partner and I started buying rental properties during the foreclosures of 08, 09, 2010. And as we were building that portfolio, we realized that we needed assistance. We needed some professionalism to help manage this portfolio if we were going to continue it to grow and succeed. So we started to add staff along the way. And as we became successful, we kept having people ask us, how are you doing this? Is this something you can help us with? So we started to pick up property management along the way. Fast forward 5 years from then, 6 years, and my business partner realized that his law firm, for him to take a positive, progressive role with the firm, he needed to kind of withdraw from real estate kind of management, sort of. And I, at the same time, had been moving the company towards more of a remodeling construction wing. And it was something he was not comfortable with. So at that time, we agreed for me to buy him out of his shares. He's an attorney. So obviously, if you're aware, Minnesota statutes allow an attorney to manage real estate property without a broker's license. So that started my clock on getting my real estate license very, very quickly. However, it took me a little bit longer than I thought it was going to be to get it accomplished and with a broker. Everything happens for a reason, though. Every door closes to open another one. So it ended up that I ended up in Aaron's lap, so to speak, figuratively, not literally.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Yes. In this day and age, everybody's got their Me Too moment. So, but it's everything's worked out the way it was supposed to. I think we've been positioned for growth with all of the business platform work that we've done for the last 3-4 years. Business coaching, business meetings. We've really put systems in place so we can scale. So for the last 6 to 9 months, I've been turning away management contracts and clients regularly. So now that we're in a position to grow and we're legal, as the books like to see it, we're ready to rock and roll. So I'm ready to grow this to, something large and profitable and fun.
Awesome. Thank you for that explanation, Lanier.
Yeah.
So guys, he manages, it's well over 200 properties, yeah?
Yeah.
In Albert Lea and surrounding areas?
Well, 200 units, 240 units total.
Okay, units. Thank you. And so there will be a new Keller Williams sign coming soon to his beautiful building that he owns downtown Albert Lea. It's going to be housed in the same location as his property management company. So if y'all have any connections in the Albert Lea market or agents that you think would be a good fit for us as a partner, I'm actually making some of those calls starting today. So if you have anyone in that neck of the woods, let us know. We'd love to set up a time to meet with them and engage with them. So awesome.
Yeah. All
right. And then we have Miss Heather Hyder and Cindy DeSormo, who have recently joined us. Both of them are experienced realtors. They came to us, they transferred from another brokerage. They're both part of our new Faribault family. So if you guys have an opportunity to either run into them or you see them posting in our closed Facebook group, please be sure to give them a warm welcome as well. All right, happy day, happy day. Everybody loves this day, and we have a couple of new cappers in the house. Miss Wendy Killen, who is out of the Winona area, and the lovely Lauren has also capped, as well as, I think we announced one yesterday. Yes, Miss Kelly Meyer. So look at all those boss ladies. I mean, I love it. I absolutely love it. They all have capped and are all currently, as you guys know, earning 100% of their commission for the rest of their capping years. So hopefully they're all treating themselves to something nice because they deserve it. They're hard workers. All right, Lisa, I'm going to let you spend some time talking about our coming soon and buyer needs. So,
So we're actually just going to remind you and highlight that with this link, and this is in our shared Google Drive too, you can go on here and our agents can post any properties they have coming soon, any buyers needs that they have. We're going to skip it for today just because, we've just got a little bit more content in this meeting. And then we do have somebody coming on to speak at the end, a vendor, not technically part of our vendor program, but he's going to speak. So, and share what services he has to offer. So just a reminder, just make sure that if you've got those coming soons and those buyer needs, be sure that you're posting them. We do have a lot of deals come out of that. So, and if you don't have access to that for some reason, let us know. But again, that is in our shared Google Drive as well.
awesome. Thank you, Lisa.
This is the next couple weeks on our training calendar. So you can see today, obviously, we've got our team meeting. For those of you that are enrolled in Bold Pivot, that is today at 1 to 3. Tomorrow, we do have, actually, you know what? I think, do we have Carrie doing a how to write a purchase agreement class today from 1 to 2 as well? I think we do.
I think so. She's
That
on.
was that was a last minute addition. Carrie, do you want to speak to that really quick?
I was busy last week and had to reschedule. So yeah, 1 o'clock, how to write a purchase agreement. It usually takes about half hour to go through all this stuff. So come with the purchase agreement in front of you and we will go through it.
Awesome. Thanks, Carrie. That is a core class too for you newbies out there. We do have an ALC meeting tomorrow, so of course you are welcome to come and observe the meeting if you're not a member of the ALC. That will be happening tomorrow as well. Minnesota Forms updates with Michelle Smith. So for those of you that are not aware, in Minnesota, Forms updates happen once a year unless something significant like COVID happens. Sometimes forms are added at other times of the year, but most of the time it's August 1st of every year, and so she'll be going over the additions and the changes to the forms and maybe going over some of the new forms that have been added this year. So make sure that you are there for that, or that you can catch it in our closed Facebook group because we will be recording and posting it there as well. Then we've got a master faculty class with Kelly DeMail. This is listing forms, going over all of the forms you need for a listing. Again, this is a core class as well. So if you're a new agent with us, brand new or existing, it's always a good reminder to know what you need in the list for the listing forms, and then also just the content involved in those as well. Mondays, we have added a new class, 10 to 10:30. Erin is jumping on and she's doing script mastery. If you haven't jumped on to this class yet, we do highly recommend it, especially if you're a new agent. Erin will kind of pick a different topic every week and go over some different scripts that you can use for when you're making those real estate contacts and you're calling your database or you're trying to get new business. And then the other thing I'll point out is on the 27th, next Thursday, Nick Stoggenberg will be doing a master faculty class, Prep to List. Again, that is a core class. We do try to have some of those core classes taught by different members of our master faculty just to switch it up a little bit. So again, that'd be a good one to go to. Basically what Nick covers in that class is, how to obtain and open a lockbox, how you install a sign, whether you do it yourself or you hire somebody, how to schedule photos, staging, things like that. So any questions on anything happening virtually in the Market Center over the next couple weeks?
Can you clarify what the ALC is for me, please?
Yes, perfect. Thanks. Good question, Leader. It's our Associate Leadership Council. Typically, what you'll see in the ALC is these agents are all in the top 20% production of the company. It's not all of the agents in the top 20%. There is certain criteria. These agents do have to receive an invitation. The agents also do have to accept the invitation because there is a bit of a commitment throughout the year. But typically, they meet once a month. There is sometimes a voting item, whether that be like a policy change or a new program that we're implementing. And then the members of the ELC also split out into different committees during the meeting as well. And they mastermind different topics. They also, are going over perhaps their profit and loss statements and things like that. So there is some additional value to them being on the ALC as well. Erin, anything you want to add to that?
So it's just, you know, once a year, Lanier, and it's usually early fall where invitation goes out to, you know, folks that qualify, and then they serve for the next 12-month period. So it's a group of our peers, leaders in the office, who, you know, are the voice of the agent body, so to speak, when it comes to us, you know, coming up with ways to better serve our agents, increase business, watch our bottom line, things of that nature.
And now, is that open to anybody to join to view, or is it only for the ALC committee?
Absolutely. It's anyone can sit in on those meetings, can sit in on the committee meetings. So yeah, right now what we're doing is everything is virtual. We haven't switched back yet to live and in-person or training room meetings.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just Lisa, do we send out, or Katie, maybe you're the one that does this, do we send out an email, or is it a Facebook post with the link whenever there's an ALC meeting to everyone?
It's always on our training calendar. So
Okay.
when you onboard with us, we do give you access to the Google training calendar, and the link is on there. Lanier, do you have access to that yet?
Yeah, that's the calendar I'm looking at. So I see all of the events coming up. So I was curious what's accessible to me, what isn't. I'm assuming if it's posted and it's got a link, it's accessible to me. So.
Yep, you got it. Great questions. Sometimes we forget and just gloss over that stuff when we forget the newbies don't know what the heck we're talking about. So thank you for shedding light on that. All right, so Keller Williams International has started a Tech Tuesday and Wealth Building Wednesday Zoom calls. So we just wanted to make you guys aware of them. We're going to be posting the link to those in the closed Facebook group. I have not attended either yet. However, I am hearing some really, that they're both really amazing and great things for agents, as well as there are some market centers that are inviting co-op agents to attend those. So both chock full of great information. I want to say Jason Abrams takes part in some of the Tech Tuesday. And if you don't know who Jason Abrams is, guys, Google him. He's amazing. He's definitely in the top 3. He might even be my #1 favorite Keller Williams instructor and teacher. So just wanted to put that out there, make you aware of it. We'll share those links with you.
Okay, tech tip for this week. It's more of a tech update, I guess. So one of the biggest things that we're super excited about is happening now or coming soon. It's being rolled out sort of in a segmented fashion, but you should be receiving automatic email notifications for any form that gets rejected after you submit it for compliance. So yay! You won't have to go in and manually check anymore. You should be receiving an automatic email. As of right now, you will not receive an automatic email if your files or file has been approved. This is just for anything that's being rejected. So super excited about that. For those of you that use Twilio, and Lena, if you don't know what Twilio is, in Command there is a platform called Twilio. It's an automatic SMS text messaging service that if our agents have anybody in their database set up with an automatic smart plan, which is a series of automatic emails, automatic text messages, phone calls, things like that. Twilio is the service that handles those auto text messages. So because we are using that platform at such a high level and we have so many agents subscribing, we'll be getting a 12 to 18% discount. Some more to come on that, but that's exciting. It's already super inexpensive. I think it's 0.07 cents per text. So it'll be even less than that. So that's kind of an exciting thing for those of you that are using that. And then for those of you that are either a Rainmaker or part of a team, there is some additional team functionality rolling out within Command. If you see any announcements on this, whether it be on Facebook pages or emails or things like that, especially if you're the Rainmaker, please know that nothing will change in your account unless you turn that team function on. So if you're a member of a team or you're the Rainmaker and you're using all of your accounts at an individual level, nothing will change. But if you do have that team functionality on, you will see some changes kind of coming down the pike. So just wanted to give you some tech updates. Any questions?
Thank you, Lisa.
Moving right along.
This one's for me. So Wisconsin licensees or dual licensees between Minnesota and Wisconsin, license renewal happens every even year in December in the state of Wisconsin. And it's slightly different, a slightly different process for that of Minnesota. Licensees in Wisconsin renew their own licenses. So you'll receive a postcard from the state saying the website that you need to go onto and renew your license. However, prior to that, you do have to complete 18 hours of continuing education. And in Wisconsin, the courses that you are required to take are specific courses. So the list is on the screen right now. However, the WRA website has fantastic resources, lots of frequently asked questions. I will post instructions in our Facebook page, just written out instructions that you can refer to. So don't delay if you are a Wisconsin licensee in getting these classes done, and wait till the last minute because that is due by December 14th. And even brand new licensees in the state of Wisconsin, as long as you have obtained your license prior to October 1st, you are still required to get those 18 hours in this even year. So if you've got questions, refer to that WRA website. They've got every answer on there for your questions.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, we posted, hopefully y'all have seen, our July 2020 top performers rather. So congratulations to all of our amazing individuals, teams, groups. Y'all are just kicking some booty out there. So way to go. Keep up the momentum. I love seeing that our KW Cares, Kids Can, Bold donations are up to $615. And then our profit share, Katie, was that for July? 25,592. Okay. So, so year to date, we are almost at 100,000.
Yeah, just shy, like 3,000 shy of 100,000.
Yeah, just shy of the 100,000 mark, which is pretty incredible. I think all of last year we profit shared, it was right around 144,000 back to the agents in the company. So I absolutely love seeing that number grow every year because that means we're changing lives. And then associates added to the team in July were Jamie Anderson, Tyler McConaughey, Kayla Pearson, Tom Prouty, and Grady Ryder. And it's kind of fun because I feel like we're growing in almost every area, right? So we had some Winona peeps, some Onalaska peeps, some Rochester peeps, Faribault, of course. I mean, it's just Albert Lee we've just announced. So it's just fun watching the growth in all of the different areas. And I know that Jen Walsh, if she's still on, has been trying to put me in touch with some Austin peeps. And I think, Jennifer, not to put you on the spot, you also have a person. I don't know if they're joining your team or if it's just a person that's currently enrolled in classes. So hopefully soon we'll be adding to the Austin area as well. So very exciting. All right, we always like to acknowledge first listings and first closings. So Andre, Betty, Carrie Ann all had their first listing and first closing. Andre, Estella, Justin, Pam, Ryan, again, absolutely love seeing, you know, you guys get your first listings and first closings. So we're super proud of you and grateful to be in business with all of you guys, and way to go. Keep it up. All right, so the mastermind that we're going to go over today stems from, I hope you all should be getting an email with a link to our Outfront magazine that Keller Williams puts out. It is chock full of so many good things and resources, and I made myself, you know, we're inundated with emails, let's face it, as real estate agents. We just get email after email. Some of it's junk mail, some of it's good content, some of it is okay content. But the one thing that I hope you guys are making a point of opening every time we get it is the Outfront magazine, because that will help you keep the finger on the pulse, not only of the industry, where we're headed, what's happening, but our company and what we're doing, what's happening and where we're headed. So there was an article in there, the Perna team, and I'm not sure where they're out of, but they, when COVID hit, are in the state of Michigan, I think Detroit area. And that state, for those of you who aren't aware, was not deemed essential like Minnesota was. So all of the agents there were on complete lockdown from the perspective of they couldn't go out and show houses, you know, and they couldn't hold open houses and things of that nature. So, you know, what this team did was they pivoted like most of us, and they didn't just double down on their activities, they tripled down on their activities. And so I just wanted, when it came to listings, so I wanted to share with you guys some of the tactics that they used, some of the scripting that they have shared. I mean, how many of you would like to have a few more listings right now? Right? I mean, I was gonna say I should see almost every hand up, because that's the bane of our existence right now in this market. Is I would venture to say that most of you have a buyer or two or more that just can't find anything right now. We have one client that we've written 6 offers for that Steve's still trying to find the right place for him. So listings are key. They just kind of always are, but even more so in the kind of market that we find ourselves in right now. So originally the Perna team focus was for all of their team members to dial 10 to 15 people a day. And what they did when COVID hit was they pivoted and they increased that to 20, then 30, then 40, then 50. And he said once they got the dial count locked in and maintained that for about a week, appointments started increasing. And how they did their appointments, I'm not entirely sure. I'm guessing maybe via Zoom, since they were a state that wasn't deemed essential, but they figured out a way, right? And that's what true entrepreneurs do. When you're faced with the challenge, we're forced to think outside the box. And I know a few of you likely held virtual open houses, even though we could have, well, I guess there was a time when they said that we couldn't do open houses. Anyway, the point being, you know, when we're faced with the challenge, it's how we react to it, right? And so what these guys did was they got creative. They started scheduling appointments, and they had a goal to sign 80 contract agreements. And I want to say by June, they had put on 48 new listings in the month of June, I believe is the number. Yep, in the month of June. And currently, right now, at the moment, they have 120 transactions pending. So that's the largest amount they've ever held at one time. And they're on track to beat their original 2020 goal by 75 units, which is crazy when you stop and think about what we've been faced with this year, right? So point is, if a team in Michigan is able to beat their original goal by 75 units after having been on lockdown, not being deemed essential for 3 to 4 months out of the year, you know, we all could learn a thing or two, right? So the 3 things that he focused on, or the 3 types of clients, properties that he focused on, were expireds, for sale by owners, and buyers that have listings that they need to sell. So what they did was they enlisted the services of a third-party provider. They don't say which one, but there are several of them out there. One that I used to use is called Land Voice. I want to say it's like $25 a month, and you can subscribe to this service, and they send you daily a list of expireds, you know, from our MLS that you can hop on the phone. And
How long ago did you use that, Erin?
How long did I use it?
How long ago?
Oh, when I was running a PC program, I purchased it, and that's how I would give my PC agents leads. But they had criteria they had to meet. They had to be showing up. They had to be taking a part of the training. So it's probably been 2 years since I used Land Voice. Have you looked into them recently, Megan, or have you ever used?
No, not recently. It's always one of the things at Bold that you can use while you're in Bold. And then anytime I've checked them out after that, they're insanely expensive. Like,
negotiate. I negotiated with them. I don't know what their fees are right now. But, you know, That's a provider. There are providers like RedX. Has anyone on here? Please feel free to unmute yourself and speak up. Use RedX. I don't have any experience with them, but I know that Steve, my husband, has looked into them recently and is considering investing in RedX for, I don't know, if you could. The thing I liked about LandVoice is you could cancel anytime. You weren't locked into like a 6-month or a 12-month contract. Again, if you find providers that have that caveat, negotiate it. Everyone's negotiating right now, right? Everyone's playing catch up from what's happened with the market because, you know, a lot of agents, as Gary told us, started cutting expenses when the pandemic hit, right? So a lot of those providers who were taking orders hand over fist previously are ready to wheel and deal right now on those sorts of things. So guys, we negotiate for a living. So when you're looking into these services, don't be afraid to try and negotiate a little bit. You always, I feel like I have to put this out there, need to be cognizant of the DNC, the do not call list. So make sure that you're not, you know, the thing I liked about LandVoice is if they were on the do not call list, it would state it on there. It would state it on there. I will say this, just because I don't want you guys to come back if you subscribe to it and say, why didn't you warn us? About, I would say 40% of the time, the numbers were disconnected, weren't correct. I mean, it is a numbers game, right? So you just have to keep plowing through them and dial until you hit a couple where you can land an appointment or two. Are you guys interested in me walking through some of his scripts that he uses or his team used when they called expireds? Do you guys want me to spend some time going over a couple of those that might be helpful? Not everybody at once. Is that a yes? Give me a thumbs up. Is that a no?
If nobody wants to do it, you can show me later, because obviously I haven't heard any of these scripts, but if nobody else wants to, don't do it on my account.
Okay.
Karen, can you post them?
Yeah, I was just going to say I can always post them in the closed Facebook group because there's a couple really good ones in here that I've never even used. But suffice it to say, these scripts are essentially catered around being helpful to a you know, expired and pointing out without attacking the previous listing agent some things that perhaps weren't employed when the listing was live, like you know, I didn't see a 3D tour on your listing, do you have one done? Or you know, I see it look like, or I noticed it looked like you had 20 photos that were posted of your property. You know, nowadays most buyers are expecting closer to 50. Did you realize that we can have, how many, who can tell me? I don't even know what the number is. How many photos can we have in MLS now?
I don't know.
Anybody know?
It's a lot.
It's
I don't know the exact number.
It is a lot.
More than you need.
Right. Okay, that's a great way to answer it, Lisa. Because when I first got in the business,
it's unlimited, but
is it?
It's unlimited in North Star, but the syndicated sites only pick up the first so many.
Right. Okay, good point, Jennifer. When I first got into the business, I felt like maybe it was 10, and it has just gradually increased over time. But, you know, that's a great icebreaker. Hey, I noticed that you only had 20 photos on your listing when it was previously listed. Nowadays, most buyers are looking for about 50. Did you realize that? So it's things along those lines that I think are helpful to at least get into conversation with those clients.
I think with any scripts, there's always something you can learn.
Absolutely. And maybe I'll share some of them for the script masterminding on Mondays. How about that? But we will post them. For sale by owners was another area that they focused on, and you know what the Rainmaker said was that for him it was coming from value and service, and that's it, because they're likely getting inundated with phone calls from realtors, you know, telling them why they shouldn't be doing a for sale by owner and why they should be listing with a licensed realtor. And let's be honest, right now it's probably one of the easiest times to be a for sale by owner because our listings are flying off the market right now. So, and with that approach too, I would imagine you're not going to get much traction with someone. They are for sale by owner for a reason. So if your sole purpose is to call them and convince them that the decision they've made is a poor one, you're probably not getting off on the best foot possible in attempting to try and gain their trust. But he said it was just about providing value. And that's what he wanted, you know, to instill. And after a phone call, you know, when he would have a phone call with the owner and they would ask, you know, why he would offer his help if he wasn't expecting, you know, anything out of it, he mentioned, I want to share these with you. He had 4 clear-cut motivations to share. Number 1, what he would share with them is, at some point you might decide you don't want to be in the business of real estate. At that point, I want you to call me and be the only person on your mind. So if he's coming from a place of you know, contribution, and he's providing value, information with that particular seller, his hope is that when they become frustrated, if they don't sell on their own, that he's the one that they'll think of. Item number 2, once you sell your home, where will you go? Somewhere else, obviously. So when you're looking to buy, he wants to be the first person that pops into their head. Number 3, they might be moving out of state. And so he wants to make it a point to share with them that he's got great contacts across the country, that he'd be more than happy to pass their name along to, someone that would take good care of them. And the 4th thing is, at some point, someone might ask you who you used as your real estate agent. And even if you didn't use me and you sold it on your own, I would love for you to say, I sold it myself, but this guy is amazing. And if you're thinking of a realtor, here's who I'd call. So those are all great scripts. Those are all, you know, different ways that you can go about building rapport and forming that relationship that are likely going to make you stand out, because they're going to be very different from the approach that most realtors are going to take, which is you should be listed with a real estate agent, right? So provide your value or show your value first before you, you know, either ask for the business or, you know, build that relationship so that when one of those 4 things happens, they'll think of you. So, you know, he shared some other scripts on that, which I think were good. We'll share those as well. And then the last area that he focused on was buyers that have listings that they need to sell. So he shared that they focus from the top down when it comes to price range. So they would target higher end buyers through Facebook ads. And hopefully most of you guys saw, I posted it late last night. There was another article in Outfront Magazine where KW shared 5 different boosted Facebook ads that agents across the country ran through Command. And guys, I know, and I just recently had a couple of inquiries from agents about Zillow leads, and does it make sense to purchase Zillow leads? And only you can make that decision for yourselves, right? Only you know what your budget looks like. But I'm here to tell you, you know, if you're asking for my 2 cents, I would spend time and money investing on boosted Facebook ads through Command first, and vet that out and see how that goes before you start spending money in other places like Zillow, because what we're hearing is on average, those leads are costing our agents less than $2 a piece. Zillow leads can cost you a couple of $100, sometimes a couple of $1,000 before you even start converting. So that's in the closed Facebook group. I would highly encourage all of you to look at it. They actually share the content of the ad, and it's also important the pictures that you choose. So I would really pay close attention to the content and try and, as we say, R&D, rip off and duplicate that, right? They wouldn't be sharing it if they weren't okay with you doing that. As I stated last night in the post, that is our culture. We share, we openly mastermind and collaborate. So don't make it any more difficult on yourself than it needs to be. Don't reinvent the wheel. Just do what they're doing. But they would use targeted Facebook ads, and he said the reason why they did is because it works and they're inexpensive. And then in addition, they use, and I'm not familiar with this technology, but it's artificial intelligence bot technology in order to send out mass, I think, text messages when prioritizing buyers. They always focus on the ones that are viewing the content and logging in regularly or most recently. So that's all I wanted to share with you guys in the way of, you know, one team's experience that's clearly hitting it out of the park. These are simple things. It's not rocket science. It's nothing new that most of you, you know, weren't already aware of existed. or, that you've possibly, attempted before. The key is the consistency, right? It's consistently reaching out to expireds. It's consistently reaching out to for sale by owners. It's consistently running boosted Facebook ads. And I know sometimes it can get frustrating when you feel like you're doing it consistently, but I would challenge you to really look at your activities and be very honest with yourself as to how consistently you are doing it. Because I know sometimes it feels like we are, but if you really looked at your business under a microscope or your daily activities, I'm guilty of this myself. So this is some self-talk, right? I feel like I'm constantly busy and doing everything I absolutely can, but am I really being consistent in the income producing activities, right? Because it's so easy for us to get caught up in the shiny objects and the things that aren't income producing. So that's all I had on that. One last thing that I wanted to just mention to you before our guest speaker hops on is Keller Williams International, in light of, some of the things that, we've gone through as a country this year, has put together a social equity task force. And for those of you who aren't aware, we have social equity task force ambassadors in each of our regions. And we have 2 of them in North Central region. And they're encouraging market centers to also individually put together, diversity task force, social equity task force, whatever you want to call it. We did a few months back initiate that conversation. And that first meeting, we had some really nice engagement. And we held a diversity, not a meeting, but a diversity
council.
Yeah, thank you. Diversity Council Zoom last Friday, and I was the only one on it. So I just want to get feedback from you guys. Do we want to have one? I think we should have one. Are you interested in participating in it? And I get it, not everybody's always available, but I want to re-engage or re-energize the folks that might have an interest in that. And I want to hear from you. Do we continue down that path? Do we put another Zoom call on the calendar for September? My goal of this next call is to talk about what do we want it to look like? Is it going to be, community involved back with giving back initiatives? Is it going to be, I would love to see more minorities, applying for leadership positions within our local, associations, national associations. Is it that we're bringing in more diversity training and education? I'm all about that. So those are the sorts of things that we want to discuss. And we also thought about folding into that a book club. There's a book that's been recommended. I'm open to, reading whatever you guys want to read, but there's this book called White Fragility that I know a lot of, folks have adapted to and are reading, trying to learn a little bit more. So anyway, with that, unless there's anybody that wants to comment on it, with that, I'll turn it over to Lisa and our guest. Does anybody have any questions or any comments that they want to share with regard to that at all?
Could I ask a question about something that's similar but not part of that?
Of course.
We used to have a list of websites that all of our listings were sent to, and it was very impressive to send to a listing person. Here's all the websites that Keller Williams sends your list to. Do we still have a list of those?
Yeah, we do still have that. We have a really nice graphic that's really easy to share or pop into a listing presentation that we can share with you. I'll put it on the closed Facebook group. I'll also just email it out to everybody just so that you have it again, so that's at the top of your inbox. So those websites are included. You could even go as far as to say, they are your listing will be included on every single individual agent's Keller Williams site, which would be 180,000 plus sites as well. So, it really just kind of depends on how you look at it. But, there's how many sites, quite honestly, that people go to search for real estate. And as long as you're on those sites, that's really, you're going to capture the biggest pool of potential buyers. But yes, good question, Karen. We'll put that on the closed Facebook group and we'll send it out via email. Thank you.
A lot of our new agents are wondering about that, and I couldn't find my list. So.
Gotcha. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And Erin, Trudy did put something in the chat. So as to what the purpose of the Diversity Council is, she said that she thinks that's a big question.
Okay, great. Yes, thanks. I saw that. So Trudy, to answer your question, we have made a concerted effort as a leadership team not to drive what that's going to look like, because we think it should come from you guys. We think it should come from the agents. And so we want to be here as a platform to help support what you guys envision that to look like. I guess it could include things like what I mentioned earlier, you know, community related activities, you know, giving back initiatives, you know, encouraging more diversity and minorities to, you know, step up and maybe participate in leadership opportunities and positions within our industry. And of course, you know, would love to bring some more diversity training and education, you know, into our market center for our agents. So I guess, you know, those are some ideas. Those aren't the only ideas, and we're open to hearing, you know, what you guys would like to see this become. So I hope that answers your question, Trudy. Anything else? Anything else from you guys? Lisa, I am going to let you introduce Evan, and then we will bring him on.
Perfect. A lot of you have already used this product, but Evan Newman is with Cutco, and he's going to share with you how you can use this amazing top-of-the-line product to, you know, provide a gift perhaps at closing and keep top of mind with your database. So Evan, without further ado, I will turn it over to you.
Thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. I apologize in advance, you guys, if I have some background noise here. I got kicked out of my room. But I just wanted to thank all you guys for having me. And I don't know if Nick is on the call or not. I have a feeling he might not be, but I appreciate so much just referring me. My goal is not to really talk so much about knives today, but you know, what you guys can do right now, you know, considering the world we're living in right now for the last 5 months and for the future, however many months, to really just retain your clients and make sure that you have raving fans for now and forever so that they continue to use you and your services again and refer you forever. And really quick, like I said, I'm not going to talk too much about knives today at all. But if you own Cutco or you've given it as a gift, if you could post it in the chat box, that would be awesome. Just how, like, I guess how long you've owned it or how long you've been gifting it and your favorite thing about it. And also, I'm aware you might have to hop off. For those of you who can't make it to the end, I'll be about 10 minutes today. If you know you'd like to speak with me, I'm going to give you my number now just in case you can't make it 10 minutes. I totally get it. So it's 763-923-8655, 763-923-8655. Just shoot me a text. I will get to it as soon as I can. I recognize there are different people on the call. You may have been in the business, you know, for decades. You might maybe only a couple of years, or maybe you just started. And I've heard from many of you. Between Jeff and myself, we work with over 2,000 clients. Most of them are realtors, and generally it's one of three things. Either your business has been heavily affected and you're just trying to make it and figure it out. Number two is you've reached a new normal. It's not business as usual, but it's reaching a normal where you wear the mask, you figure out all the logistics, and you're just making it work, and business is going just fine right now. Or you might be busier than ever with multiple offers and just, you know, tons of work right now. So I really challenge all of you just to avoid distraction for a few minutes. I know we're all super busy, but the realtor of client retention, and this is according to NAR, is only 10% of clients are going to use their same agent for a second transaction. Even though 90% of people say they will, 10% of people actually do. A few reasons for this. Number one is top of mind awareness. The agent's not top of mind. I'm sure you've heard this all the time, is stay top of mind. That's number one. Number two, the agent's info is not readily accessible or available. And number three is the client feels their agent is indifferent to the relationship. And according to the National Association of Realtors, 66% of the time, that's how people feel nationally. 66% feel their agent is indifferent. So my job is to give you a few quick tips today on things that can help right now, especially. And you may have heard them before, but I will use different points to illustrate. Just stick with me. So it's 2 to 5 clients. Call them every single day. And if your database is small and you can't do 2 to 5 clients every day, make a point to call 2 to 5 prospects. And here is where I differ from most people. Every time you call, don't just try to talk about their house. Call and figure out something that you can add value to them specifically as a person. Do you want more referrals? Refer them to your network. As agents, a lot of us know a lot of people. So think about introducing them to people you know. Help them find people to meet, whether it's through their job or interests or whatever else. Number one, it's a good thing to do, but it also ties them closer to you, and that is nothing but a benefit. It just ties them closer to you. Think about what cool things you guys do. I am an advocate for sharing those things on the call, because you always ask them what they did last weekend and what they're excited about, and that's fantastic. Drop in there something that you did last weekend. They think it's cool. It's a time to brand yourself, because it shows that you're an actual human being, and that's the difference between a client on the other end saying, you know what, that's a great agent, versus that is an awesome person that I'd like to be associated with on a personal level. That's an amazing person. And if you can say there is nobody like me from a personal level, there is huge value in that. There's nothing that compares to that if you can say there's nobody like me. Lastly, any realtor knows that people love to text, especially now, like infatuated with texting, won't answer a call. They'll shoot your text back like immediately. Have you thought about sending them a voice text? And if you don't know voice texting, just Google it. It is awesome. The vast majority of people will respond in a positive way, much higher than a call. A call is ideal, but if you can't, it's okay. Just get every positive interaction that you possibly can, because that's the difference between buying a home was great versus every experience I have with this person is great. Okay. So that's one, is call 2 to 5 clients a day or 2 to 5 prospects, whatever your situation is. Number 2 is 2 handwritten cards every day, or you send somebody a gift. Right now is the most vital time for that. With everything going on, you know, there are people, they might not be getting the love or appreciation from their jobs or their families or really anybody right now. It can be challenging, but if you are there for them, that speaks volumes, right? So this is when people need it the most. If you have to, if you really have to narrow it down, the top 10 or 20% of your database is a great place to start. And number 3 is a value-added social media. I love seeing house listings and people find them interesting. Those are not the best Facebook posts though. The best Facebook posts from any agent that you see across the country are things that people can connect with at a visceral level. Are you a badass cook? Post it. Post the pictures every day. Do you have adorable children, grandchildren, dogs, squirrels, ferrets, whatever? Post pictures. People can connect with that, and it shows that it just shows that you're a cool person, right? And this is just how you brand yourself with your client as a person, not just an agent. Ultimately, with these actions, it's just about being a positive influence that clients not only like, but that they deeply admire. And a lot of times in my industry, I get through the hurdle of, well, I have great service. Here's what I need everybody to understand. Great service is awesome. It's a necessity. Honestly, in your industry though, it is just a barrier to entry with the client. If you want to close any deals, you have to be a great communicator. You have to do that just to avoid negative reviews. But if you want a raving fan who will go above and beyond and refer business to you and use your services again, you have to make sure they're a raving fan, not just a satisfied client, because a satisfied client statistically will not come back. They won't. 90% of the time, they won't come back. Raving fans is what matters. And it's not a client's job to remember you. It's your obligation to ensure they cannot forget you. And the only way to do that is through relational selling, not transactional selling. It's all about going above and beyond to make sure people feel appreciated, right? And I know I'm really hitting this hard, but the bottom line is, as much money as you all spend, to create that client in the first place, it'll cost you 5 times more to get new clients than to keep existing ones. So you may as well do everything you can to keep those, okay? So many people have asked me how things are going. I do all of these things that I talk about, and people know that I'm writing my handwritten cards myself, and I'm not outsourcing it because my handwriting is really bad. Like really bad. People know it's coming from me. There is no way anybody would be paid to have my handwriting. So why is it business as usual for me? It's a lot of effort. I'm doing all these things. And when I call people, I'm not checking in about knives. I'm checking in on their families. I'm checking in on their health. And that's all there is to it. But why business as usual? Well, my product has inherently gotten a lot more valuable for families because they are cooking now more than ever. Today I'm traveling because I'm servicing my clients for their knives that are decades old and need some help. So I'm taking care of that today. I'm sure everybody on the call gives a gift of some kind, but the problem is 90% of those are consumables, and a client gets it, they appreciate it, they like it, but then it's gone and it's not really doing anything helpful long-term for a business owner. And then the other 10%, they might be personalized, they might hang on a wall, people do like it, but they're not interacting with it on a daily basis. So they're kind of just sitting there. Clients appreciate any gift because it's free, but most gifts, they're either gone or they just aren't serving clients long-term. Something I've learned is during this pandemic situation, like you can give people a $1,200 stimulus check. It does not make a lasting long-term difference to a client. So when we think about what we're doing, when we're giving them 90% of the gifts that are given in our industry, long-term, it's almost nothing, whether it's a basket or a bottle of wine or whatever, they like it, but then it's gone or it's just not serving them long-term. Okay, so just really quick, how many, I guess I would normally ask how many of you have given Cutco as a gift. You can just wave your hands in the air if you're on, if you're on the screen, but we're US made since 1949. We're the Rolex of kitchen knives, and we've been shipping gifts to your clients every day, which means it's 100% tax deductible as advertising because we engrave these pieces. So just to show you a couple of examples, these are the shears. You can see a little engraving there, Steve from Edina. And we also have a couple pieces from not just Edina Realty, but also Keller Williams. We've got a couple personal samples from the Bandamere team. So we have the utility knife and we have the spreader. And on average, our gifts run anywhere from like $75 to $250, which is what most agents are generally spending anyways. So basically it's just a reallocation of funds to something that's just a little more systematic, something that is longer term, and just something that's in place for you. Because when you think about what happens with most gifting situations, you're trying to figure out something for everybody and you're just kind of doing it last minute, and it's just not a great place to be. So we make it really easy, all tax deductible, and you can even break it into 6 or 12 months depending on how many you might need. We get you a year's supply of gifts, so you're good to go. Special time in history, and here's your opportunity to win some free Cutco, because it's the only thing better than Cutco is free Cutco. So I'm going to give everybody an opportunity to win something just by doing a quick drawing. If you want to be entered into the drawing, even if you just want more information, what I need you to do is grab out your phone, and this will be a little bit of a race. The first 3 people to text me are going to be, I'm going to upgrade you to 150 worth of free stuff. But if you just want to be entered in the drawing, anybody who texts me will be entered in the drawing for the #1 utility knife. It's worth about $100, so you may as well. I will ship it to you free of charge. It's for tomatoes, lemons, limes. It's one of the most popular pieces that we've history. My number is 763-923-8655. And again, there's like no pressure for me. My goal is to add value always, and just to be a resource. But if you just want more information, or enter the drawing to win some free stuff off of me, go for it. And for the first few people to place an order, you'll be upgraded to $150 worth of free Cutco. Because if you don't have Cutco, God knows you could probably use a good kitchen knife right now. I apologize, I'm a couple minutes over. I've definitely got to get going, but I appreciate every single one of you. You're all rock stars. Nick and I talk semi-frequently, but I love what I'm hearing, and you guys are really onto something, and I so appreciate you all, and I look forward to shaking your hand next time, and not through a screen.
Thank you, Evan. And hey, dude, if you got kicked out of your house, you need to call Nick. He might be.
Oh, no, I didn't get kicked out of my house. I promise.
I'm teasing. You look homeless. If you're homeless, call Nick.
Yeah, not today, right?
Thanks for joining us.
You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Erin, before we go, can I just make one really quick kind of segue to that? So first of all, Evan, thank you so much for providing so many items of value. I think that's what a lot of our agents are looking for right now, instead of just a quick sales pitch. So we appreciate that so much. A couple things that you mentioned. So making, I think it was 2 to 5 or 3 to 5 phone calls per day. For those of you that don't know, you can tag, and for those of you that have been to Bold before, you can tag your database with those letters. So it's called DT, D2, it's called Do the Database To, and basically you just bring up a certain tag, which allows you to group your database in Command, and it will tell you exactly which of those, who in your database you should be calling, and it's all based on last name. So that, and then also regularly calling your people. You can set them up with the quarterly call plan in Command. That's just a really quick smart plan you can plug everybody into, and Command will tell you, okay, today you need to call this person, and automatically once per quarter you'll be calling your database. So I appreciate that. It was a good idea for us to give a little quick Command plug, but thank you so much for great value. We super appreciate it.
Awesome. Have a
appreciate
great
you
day,
guys.
everybody. Thank you for joining us. And I posted Evan's phone number in the chat if you guys didn't get it.
Perfect.
Thanks, guys.
Take care, guys.
Great day.
Thank you.
Bye.